very sad it is to realize that most people wait until the very end of their life to figure out what is important. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah. Day number 1, the Torah portion Ve'aki. This particular Torah portion, it's important to me. This is the Torah portion that I was born under. So there are some elements of this portion that have really shaped my particular life. We'll share more about that as the week goes on. For today, let's go to Bereshit, Genesis chapter number 47, and begin reading with verse 27, which says, "And Israel dwelt in the land of Mitzrayim, in the land of Goshen. They had possessions there and bore fruit and increased exceedingly. And Yaakov lived in the land of Mitzrayim 17 years. So the length of Yaakov's life was 147 years. And the time for Israel to die drew near, and he called his son Joseph, and said to him, Now if I found favor in your eyes, please put your hand under my thigh, and show love and commitment and trust to me. Please do not bury me in Mitzrayim. But I shall lie with my fathers, and you shall take me up out of Mitzrayim and bury me in their burial place. And he said, I will do as you have said. And he said, Swear to me. And he swore to him. And Israel bowed himself on the head of the bed." A little lengthier reading today, but it's important that we kind of pull all this together. Yaakov has come to the end of his life. He has lived 17 years in Mitzrayim, and the gematria, the numerical value of 17, is found in the Hebrew word tov. The Hebrew word tov, T-O-V, we would transliterate, is the idea of good. So it is suggested then that these were good years. He perhaps saw another generation come to life and began to grow up before him. He had 17 years to catch up with Joseph and see his power in the land and to enjoy the benefit that Joseph would have provided for him. He would have lived beyond the remaining 5 years of famine that was to strike the earth. So 17, subtract 5, there's at least a dozen good years of maybe a return to normalcy. Wouldn't that be nice? How many of you have some image of some time in the past, some yesteryear area, and you think, if I could just get back there, if we could just get back to the simplicity of things and where things were just not so evil and convoluted as they are now. Wishful thinking on most of our parts. So there is an understanding from the JPS Torah commentary, something pretty interesting. It notes that Abraham lived to be 175, that Yitzhak lived to be 180, and now Yaakov lives to be 147. Let's do a little math. Maybe get out a piece of paper and kind of write this down with me. Concerning Abraham, you can multiply 5 times 5 times 7, and it will equal 175. What's also interesting then, if you add those integers, 5 plus 5 plus 7, you get 17. For Yitzhak, at 180, let's go up a number. Instead of 5, let's use 6. 6 times 6 times 5. You get 180. Again, add those integers. 6 plus 6 plus 5, you'll get 17. Can we do that with Yaakov? Well, let's go up one more number. Now, instead of 6, let's go to 7. 7 times 7 times 3. You get 147. Add those numbers, 7 plus 7 plus 3, and you'll get 17. Kind of interesting, huh? What it suggests, perhaps, in a mathematical level way of looking at Torah, is that each of the patriarchs, they did what they were supposed to do. They lived the lives they were supposed to live. They engaged in the life events, good and bad, as they presented themselves to them. They wrestled through their challenges They overcame those things. They embraced the good. They remained faithful. They kept the covenant. They passed it on from one generation to the next. They stood out as Hebrews and the world that surrounded them, and they have left us a legacy. These men created not just an ethnic race of people, but they created a way of life. They established righteousness. They established an ongoing oral tradition of Torah until their descendant Moshe came and received the written version for us. These are Yah's laws. These are his ways. I've read some commentary and some argument, well, Yah just borrowed from the commonly accepted things of the world at that time as men knew them and incorporated them into how he wanted his people to live. But the word says these are his laws, his commands. Just a thought. So if we go on beyond this, Yaakov has come to a place now where he is saying, I've had my time here, and I've done the things that need to be done here. It's time to go on. Now, let's back up just a second here, and let's take the number 17 again. If you add up all the numbers from 1 to 17, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, all the way up to 17, you'll come up with a number 153, which just so happens to be the numerical value of the phrase Habane Elohim, the sons of Elohim, and also the phrase HaPesach, the Passover. It is about identifying and understanding who we are and what we are. The covenant brings us to that reality. We are no longer where we were. We're no longer doing what we used to do, even in religious ideas and applications, because we've taken on a new identity and a new understanding. Mere attendance of religious services, going through motions, putting a few bucks in the plate and that kind of thing really doesn't satisfy us anymore. We're looking for the fuller version. We're looking for that which satisfies the genuine spiritual yearnings and cravings within us. To know Yahweh and to know him all of his power, to know his face at face value, to see him as he is willing to present himself to us, it takes work. It also changes our end goals. Yaakov has come to the end of his life and he's realizing, I've had good years here, 17 years with you, Joseph. I've seen these generations. I have hope that my influence, my righteous influence on you, your brothers, and your future generations is going to remain intact. Now, as for me, this is what I want. My want is not something more comfortable, more convenient, more easy, more opulent. I'm not looking for more money or anything else of this world. I'm thinking about my final rest. I want to be with my fathers. I want to be with Yitzhak, my father, and with Abraham, my grandfather. I want to find conclusion back in the land where I belong. That's what's important to me. And when Joseph promised, I swear I'll do that for you, he said, make sure you swear to me. I swear, Father, I will do this for you. With that, Israel rose up and bowed himself on the bed. Not so much, I don't think, to Joseph, but to the Creator. It's done. It's going to be finished. It's going to be right. I can rest. I can be assured that things are going to be done right and that I can end up where I belong. When you get to the end of all things, when you come down to final moments of life, you want rest, you want peace, you want assurance that all following after you is after the model that you have set for them. You want to know the finality of everything is the way it's supposed to be. Strive for the reality of what that is so that we set our steps in order now to bring these things to pass. Contemplate on this today. We'll see you again tomorrow. To then, shalom.